you don't got no sauce, then you're lost. But you can also get lost in the sauce.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back for another episode. Some of you may have already seen the content that I'm about to play, but I did go ahead and take that video down. The reason I did is I felt like I was personally attacking another YouTuber, and I don't want to be known as that guy. And when it comes to the specific cranks that I'm using, the reason I'm using it is because I've had great success within the past versus using, a Z6 crank. So I'm going to continue using what has worked best for me. And I, recommend the same thing for everybody else out there. Use what's worked for you in the past. If you've had good success with something, continue using it. If you hadn't had success with it, switch it up. And that's how I feel with pretty much anything in life. So anyways, that being said, let's go ahead and get to this D16 build. So let's go. Okay, now it's time to get our pistons into our block. You're going to see here on our compression rings, you're going to see these two openings. You're going to want to make sure they're on the exact opposite side. So go ahead and turn that one over there so you have it like this. And then this one is right there on that side. All right. All right, now we're going to go ahead and put it into our ring compressor. Make sure you slide this down. Don't cover the whole piston. Leave yourself a little bit of the skirt left. That way you can line it up perfect once you get into the block. And then go ahead and tighten it down. All right, we'll make sure it's nice and snug all the way around the piston. And then you're going to see that lip up there. See how it's not flush with the rest of it? Once you set it down on the block, you're going to hammer this part here so that way it's nice and even, and you're going to send it down. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. Make sure your cylinder walls are nice and lubricated. You can use engine oil. Also, you're going to want to use assembly lube. Assembly lube is obviously better than using engine oil for your first startup. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this piston in. Note here, we're using the VITARA pistons. I don't know if you can see it. I guess you can a little bit. That arrow there, that arrow is going to want to face your flywheel. So the bigger looking valve indentations right there, those are going to want to be towards the back of the motor, closest to the firewall. So if you imagine the motor in the car, imagine the firewall, bigger valve dents in there are closer to there. So make sure, or you can just realize where your flywheel is. Flywheel goes on this side, bell housing, and all that stuff. Make sure that arrow is facing that way. So you want to set it in just like so. And see how I left this area right here? So you could go ahead and press it down and make sure it's on flush. Then grab your mallet. Go ahead and hammer this part down. Make sure it's nice and flush. Also, you want to make sure everything is clean. Make sure you're using a super clean spot. Nothing's dirty. No debris or anything will get inside that motor. All four pistons are in the block. Now we just need to go ahead and flip her over and get the cranking. Time to get our thrust washers in place. These thrust washers, they literally just sit upside here. You don't want to worry about them falling off or anything like that, so just get your engine assembly grease and gum them up real good. Make sure you get a good bit on there, just so it sticks to itself. You just use it like that, and you're just gonna keep it in place. That way, once you go to put the crank on, you don't got to worry about it falling off on you. I'm going to do the same one on the opposing side. Just coming up real good, real nice. Just go ahead and put it on there. All right, and we are done with our thrust washers. Make sure the little lines you see here, those little lines there, are always facing outwards. You don't want that facing inwards towards the block. So there we go. Those are nice and in there. They're all nice and gummed up. Now we get our crank in place. Next thing you want to go ahead and do is look up the specifications. Depending on what ARP bolts you have, or if you're running stock rods, you want to make sure that you have the correct torque specs. It should come with like a little card when you get your rods in the mail, and it'll tell you which torque specs to get them down to. So I'm going to go ahead and get these torqued down, get the girdle on, and we'll be good. All right, we are complete. Thank you guys for watching. Go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
If you don't got no sauce, then you're lost. But you can also get lost in the sauce.